Good morning. This is Laura McEwen from G Caledonian Prestwick. I'm a lean leader for the Prestwick site covering the repair shop. So I'm just going to take you through the lean project for Girls Get Set, and we'll run through a few slides. The full aim of this pack is to just give you a really basic introduction to lean, and we'll find out how much people know about lean as we go through the pack. But I hope you learned some things this morning, find it quite enjoyable. So we'll start off with a video. This gives you a really good introduction to lean and how it came about, and where the terminology lean comes from and who was the inventors of it. So hopefully you've heard of Toyota, the car company, and they were the first to implement lean.
Toyota knows how to make cars. It does it so well, it became the first company to produce more than 10 million a year. Its success is rooted in a special system and began what's now known as lean manufacturing, an ethos emulated by companies around the world to make products faster, cheaper and better. Here's how Toyota changed the way we make things. Following the Second World War, Japan was left in a precarious economic position.
Steel and other metals are scarce.
Already disadvantaged by lacking natural resources, materials were hard to come by, and companies had to be creative to compete. Toyota's founder, Sekiichi Toyoda, had started a loom business, but it was his son Kiichiro who founded the motor company in 1937. They were used to working within narrow margins. As the shortage of materials increased during the war, the number of headlamps on its Model K truck was reduced to one, and it only had brakes on one of the axles. The turning point for Toyota's production system would come in the early 50s, when Kiichiro's cousin Eiji would travel to the US with a veteran loom machinist, Taiichi Ono. They visited Ford's River Rouge plant in Michigan and were impressed by the scale of the operation, but knew that in cash-strapped Japan, companies didn't have the resources for such a system. Having months' worth of stock sitting in a warehouse would tie up precious capital they didn't have. Instead, what truly impressed Ono was a visit to a supermarket, a Piggly Wiggly, according to legend. Japan didn't really have self-service stores at this point, and he was struck by the way customers could choose exactly what they wanted, when they wanted. He decided to model his production line on a similar idea. With the supermarket formula, only enough parts were produced in the first phase to replace what was used in the second, and so on. This is where the just-in-time system really took shape. Toyota was able to eliminate much of the waste in Ford's system, making smaller numbers of parts to be used when it needed them, allowing the company to operate on a tighter budget. As part of this, Ono developed Kanban, a sign-based scheduling method which shows goods in production, and goods out. It's now seen as a precursor to barcodes. Ono and Toyota also noticed that American car companies were still employing many of Henry Ford's early production techniques. They kept operations at full tilt in order to maximize efficiencies of scale, but then had to repair defective cars after they rolled off the line. Ono believed this caused more problems and didn't encourage workers or machines to stop making the mistake. So he placed a cord above every station which any worker could pull to stop the entire assembly if they spotted a problem. The whole team would work on it to prevent it from happening again. As teams identified more problems, the number of errors began to drop dramatically. Combined with a culture of continuous incremental improvement called Kaizen, the Toyota production system built a brand known for making reliable and affordable cars. But Toyota was also getting good at producing cars quickly. In 1962, the company had produced 1 million vehicles. By 1972, they'd produced 10 million. It was around that time that the efficiencies of their factories enabled Toyota to produce a car every 1.6 man-hours, much lower than their competitors in the US, Sweden and Germany. And as the oil crises of the decade sent gas prices higher, cheap-to-run Japanese cars became much more appealing to Americans, whose powerful but gas-guzzling vehicles suddenly became very expensive to run. Today, Toyota has made over 250 million vehicles. Others have looked to them to learn the lessons of lean, combining craft with mass production, avoiding waste while striving for constant improvement. Boeing is perhaps the most famous, restructuring a plant to better suit TPS. Intel is another long-time lean ambassador and is exploring the principles in the context of AI and the Internet of Things. A Canadian hospital even used Toyota's system to decrease wait times in its ER. The Toyota production system changed not just how cars are made globally, but how we approach making things full stop. It also showed that there's always a better way to make a product.
So I hope that that video can explain where the history of lean came from, and it's just really simple. It's just trying to improve basic tasks and make them as simple and as quick and as efficient as possible, but still keeping quality. So that is really my role at Caledonian, is to do that within the repair system. So trying to reduce the amount of time it takes us to repair parts on aircraft engines, and do it as most cost effective as possible. So that's all lean is trying to do. There's another video to follow. So this basically shows you a live example of lean within a site in GE, General Electric. So it's based, I think this site's in the US. So it just really talks you through a live sort of process of where they've looked at it, tried to improve it, and how the positive impact it's had on employees. So it's maybe a wee bit heavy, but it's a good example of lean being used in an industrial situation.
In late summer, early fall of 2017, the team started to run into trouble. We had the waste of inventory, the waste of overproduction. The universal reaction was, we have to fix that. When you start to do lean, simply put, it's find a problem, fix a problem, keep it from coming back. The first step was to create a scale model, a 3D version of the facility. So this helped us understand from a bird's eye perspective, where are the machines situated? How did the parts travel around the facility? And we pegged yarn from process to process to process, and you realize if you start to trace the steps of the part, it traveled 3 miles. So we had to take the machines from where they are in a haphazard fashion and organize them in a way that the process points are next to each other. And then it's a matter of making what we call a line, getting those process steps next to each other in a certain configuration.
So this is the old way we used to do things. As you can see, it's a little bit less organized. Our beginning operations are over here. Then you go all the way over there. There's not clear material flow, so you can't tell if you're ahead or behind schedule. The best part about the lean lines is it makes everything so visible. The line is clean, efficient, and organized, and you can tell that everything is running to schedule with a quick glance.
When we set the line up, we went from 3 miles to 165 feet. And the bucket lead time went from 85 days to 49 days. In general, the inventory was cut by 50%, and that's proportional to the lead time reduction. The business impact is very significant. The purpose of the line is to expose problems. It's a forcing function to expose problems.
It's so important to have a desk right on the shop floor, actually sit right here, because you can instantly respond to the problems that the line is having.
It's a big change for us. We're on the line, we're troubleshooting, we're solving the problems.
They press the button, I see there's an issue, and I can immediately respond, let them know if we need to write up a non-conformance, if we need engineering support. Everything's immediate, real time, on the line.
When you start to do lean, you need to have everybody understand the way forward.
We did 6 week-long action workouts last year creating an environment that could embrace lean. It really just helps the team think differently about how to run a shop, eliminating waste, to how to think about, setting up a line, you name it. And so that's kind of how we grew the core group of folks that have experience and knowledge working with all the different lean toolkits.
Lean is all about eliminating waste. Almost every category of waste we addressed when we started to make that line.
What lean's kind of getting me to is the thought process of continuous improvement, right? So where am I at today? What am I doing better tomorrow in order to continue that journey? It's not there's not an end game to it. It's a continual journey to learn.
So that's an example in one of our sites, and I hope you can understand what they were trying to achieve. The parts are moving 3 miles at one point until they change it, and that it's like 100 yards, which is a significant amount of reduction. So it's just really simple things like that you think, oh, I don't mind like walking, to along here to get this, to then go over here. But actually, when you calculate it up, it can really amount up to a lot of time and a lot of travel. So that's really all that team was looking at, is how far parts travelled and how to reduce that. So for me, the thing that you always think about when you think about lean is what is value. So value, and we'll hear that throughout this session, is what is value. So value is simply what is the customer willing to pay for, and everything else apart from that is complete waste. So for you, think about it, you being the customer, running your day-to-day life of getting things ready for school or college, or going to play tennis or running, getting ready and stuff like that. Think of each of the tasks you do, and is it adding value to you getting to your school or getting to your sports class or anything like that. For us here at Caledonian, if the customer is not willing to pay for a mechanic walking back and forth to the store to get a nut and then a bolt and then a washer, they are only willing to pay for the engine being reassembled and tested, stripped, cleaned, and then reassembled and tested. The bits in between they're not willing to pay for. So just constantly, we are constantly thinking about that. What are they paying for and what are they not willing to pay for? Because if they're not willing to pay for it, it's waste, and we need to try and eliminate that. Okay, so this video explains it a wee bit, maybe better than me, but just ignore the adverts. Sorry. So that video explains waste and the categories that you can put waste into. So again, that's something that we're constantly doing. Like I do in my role of trying to work out if that's too much motion of the mechanic or if it's the actual part that's moving. You know, are you as mechanics waiting on work coming to them, or are you waiting on a bus coming to you, or are you waiting on to get into the shower next in the morning, or are you, you know, stuff like that. Just if you think in that way, you can relate this to normal day life. So the project brief as part of the event is going to be looking at your week and trying to remove 20% of waste. So think about that previous video, what is waste, and the 7 categories of it, and you're trying to reduce or remove 20% of waste from your morning routine. So from the minute you wake up to the minute you arrive at school, or if you're online at school. So really just that area of your day. And we're going to do that through value stream mapping, which I'm going to explain in a minute. Lean thinking, so just generally looking at a process and seeing where there's waste and how you can remove it and how you can improve it. A bit of teamwork, and hopefully you have a wee bit of fun and learning along the way. So that just gives you a bit of a introduction, and then this will be, I think you've got 4 more sessions and then a 5th presenting, so that your days will be split into day 1 is learning some lean basics, so we're going to do that today, and then do a sort of, I think your first day is going to be creating a project charter, so determining what you're going to look at. Day 2 would be looking at your actual day and how does that time, I mean, you could wake up 8 in the morning and go to school at 9, or you could be up at 5:30 in the morning and go to school at 9. Everybody's morning is going to look very differently. So everybody's current state, so that would be how you do it today, will look different. And then day 3 will be identifying opportunities. So if you've identified your waste, how are you thinking about you can reduce that? So queuing times to get into the bathroom, or waiting for your kettle to boil, or waiting in the bus and stuff like that. So and then day 4 would be how, once you've implemented those changes, how does your morning look now? So you now still get up at 5:30, but you've managed to go to the gym for half an hour, or you've managed to go out a run, or you now get up at 6 or 6:30 because you've reduced that much waste. So remember, you're trying to create as much value in your morning as possible. So if that does mean going for a run for you as value, then that is good. But eliminating all the waiting or walk, like your movement of trying to get things. So we're going to learn a little bit about value stream mapping. It's, a lot of people think this is the most, like, the foundation of lean, is if you can actually look at your process and map it out. A lot of people, this will be their first sort of place they would go. And we'll play this video. I've got a few videos, sorry.
I was eating because I was stressed out, candy bars and chips and donuts, gaining weight. But since I started
So I hope that made a wee bit of sense, but don't overthink it. It is simply just, you know, a value stream map would be, for my morning, would be alarm goes off, I check my phone. I know that's not right, but you know, it wouldn't be recommended, but check my phone, get up, go for a shower, brush my teeth, you know, makeup on, do my hair, you make toast. That's so it's each step that you go through, you would map out, and then each step you would say, you know, I had to wait to get into the bathroom for 5 minutes, but then actually when I was in the shower, it was 2.5 minutes, or you know, and that's, you're looking at your process time and your wait time. Waiting for the kettle to boil was, you know, 2 minutes. To make that cup of tea was 30 seconds. So your process time is making the tea. Your wait time is obviously waiting for it to boil. So it's just trying to look at each step of your day and define it, whether it's process or waiting, and then you can get your overall process and waiting, like your total time altogether, and identifying, and you'll very quickly see, and if you've got long wait times, there may be areas that you could look at to try and reduce some of your waste. So, but process mapping is a really well-known sort of tool to use in Lean, but just really simple, a really simple way of quickly identifying where your waste is within your process. Sorry, and exactly the what we're speaking about there, the purpose of it is just to really identify where you could remove waste really quickly, or where you like some certain processes you should really focus in on. Okay. So now we're going to move on to a different Lean tool, which we use throughout most organisations that, you know, that have got a Lean department or Lean thinking will do this as one of the first sort of events to do within an area, and it's called just a 5S. Really simple: sort, set out, shine, standardise, and sustain is what the 5 S's stand for. And it's just a good way of decluttering, looking at an area where you work and just really minimising what's in it, only have what you need in it, and everything else you don't use or don't use regularly is out of sight. So it's either binned, or if it's in a cupboard that you know you can access but is not always there, and it just makes you really focus on what you're actually doing and what you need each time. So when we're going to go through this, think about your home, whether it's your bedroom or your kitchen or your living room or anywhere, and think about how you could apply this in your house or room. And yeah, we'll I think that, I don't know if there's a video to go with this. Yeah, there is. Sorry, I do like a video. Explains it better than me.
Globalization Partners simplifies international business by enabling you to hire teams in new countries without
So pretty much 5S is just organising your workspace or your room at home, or just to really make life so much easier and more productive. So we're going to play a little game that hopefully helps you understand the 5 steps of 5S. So you can either, after each round, you can pause this video and discuss within your group or with your teachers the scores that you got each round, or you can watch it again. But we're going to go through, and I'll keep the timer. So just to reconfirm, 5S, it just creates a clean and orderly, safe and high-performing work area or home life. An environment where there is everything is a place for everything and everything in its place. So sort is just to separate what is needed now from what is not needed. Set in order is organise and arrange what you need. Shine, keep it area clean and tidy, and inspect in that's in there, so in that might be broken, like plates that might be broken or chipped, or glasses that are cracked. You would eliminate them. Standardise your workstation, so just keep that standard and set it out so that it's the same way each day, and then just keep that up, and it does make life a lot easier. But we use this in a work environment, but you can definitely apply it at home. Okay, so the part of this game is going to be that when I go on to the next slide, there will be a load of numbers on the screen. Your aim is, and you've got 20 seconds per shift to find the numbers 1 to 49, but you need to do it in order. You can't just find any number between 1 and 49. You need to try and find them in sequential order. And the aim of the shift is to get the highest number within your group or your class. So as soon as I move on to the next slide, I'll time 20 seconds and I'll let you know when that's up. But so the aim is between find the numbers between 1 and 49. That's 10 seconds up. That's your 20 seconds up. So if you want to pause this video, you can, to discuss what numbers you got. I can just say on experience, a lot of people don't get past the number 10. And bear in mind, the task for doing this shift was to get between the numbers up till 49. Okay, so you can get around each other and see what numbers you got and who got the highest. Were you happy with your score? Is there a way you think you would be able to find the numbers a lot easier? Yeah, just you can have a discussion within yourselves of what you think would make that a bit better. So this is us then trying to introduce sort. So if you were to eliminate the unnecessary items for the ones that you need from the ones you don't, so we asked you to find the numbers between 1 and 49, and I know there's numbers between 50 and 90 in there. So if they were removed, then would you be able to find the numbers 1 to 49 much easier? I think you would. So that's what sort's all about. Just remove what you don't need from what you do. Okay. So the same rules is going to apply in the next round. Still, the aim of the 20-second shift is to find the numbers between 1 and 49, and see if you can make an improvement on the numbers you got in the last round. So think about them and see if you made a change. Okay. Ten seconds to go. And that's your second shift up. So did anybody get any improvements? Did you get a higher number than you got before? Please discuss within your group if you did, and who got the highest mark. And hopefully you found that a little easier to find numbers between 1 and 49. So the next one is set in order. So try to use your imagination, but we've installed some racking in my numbers. So number 1 is located in the bottom left-hand corner. 2 is in the rack up. 3 is in the rack up from that. 4 is in the middle bottom rack. And then try and find, there is an order in how the numbers sit. Once you know that order, you should then be able to find your numbers a lot quicker. So we're going to, same rules apply, 1 to 49. We've got another third shift of 20 seconds, and we'll see if you can get any higher scores in this round. That's 10 seconds up. That was your 20 seconds. So again, discuss within yourselves, within your group, pause the video if you need to, but did you improve on that? And I would think you will have. It would be interesting to know what your scores are. But you can understand what this game and what this actual lean tool is now trying to do. It's trying to show you if you have an order, it's much easier for your brain to get to understand where things are going to be and if they're always there in the same place. Okay, so that was set in order, and it's just to be organised and arrange what you need. So ask yourself, what do you need first, second, third and fourth? So, you know, if you're going to brush your teeth first and then go for a shower, so you need your toothbrush first, toothpaste, then you need shampoo, then conditioner, then it's, you know, face washing. You know, think about what you need and when you need it. And that's what we do, building engines and stripping engines and cleaning them. We think about what fixtures do we need, what tooling do we need, what chemicals do we need and when, and just have that all lined up so it makes it a much smoother process. Okay, so next step is standardise. We'll ignore the shine because we can't do any cleaning during this game, but clean your rooms, clean your, you know, your kitchen, that sort of thing. We would be asking the guys to clean their areas. So we've, in the next phase, we've rearranged the numbers in a standard way that makes the completion of the work task as easy as possible. Excuse me. Same rules apply. 20-second shift will start as soon as the next slide appears. Excuse me. And shout out to your classmates when you've got to 49. I'm thinking you might be there already, but I'll give you the full 20 seconds just in case. Fantastic. So, yep, I hope everybody got to 49 from there. A lot of people have said in this game that they think even if you were to make the font size, the font the same and the size the same, that would be like a next level of improving that. Because I know that they're all in order, but just to make it even better would be great if everything was uniformed. So compare yourself now to where you were on your first round. So some people I know we've only got to number 1. Some people didn't even found number 1 in previous games I've done. And you got to hopefully 49 in this round. So you can see the progress you've made. You can see the benefit that each of these steps have made. So again, it's just some examples of tooling and stuff, how it's been all just flung on the top of that draw set, and then it's all set out neatly. These are quite old photographs, so I do apologise. But just so that everything has a place and everything is in its place. Okay, so the next round is trying to make you think. If you did not sustain that and you never kept that level, and you were back to the first layout of numbers and you had 2 missing numbers, how easy is it for you to find those missing numbers when you've got, you know, tooling everywhere, or, you know, in your house, you know, if there's clutter everywhere, how do you find that missing shoe, or you know, whatever it may be. So I'm going to show you the image from the very first round, but there is 2 missing numbers. Both numbers are below 49. So just to see if you are ready, well, and this time I'm going to give you 2 minutes. And every 20 seconds I'll say that that's shift 1 up, shift 2, and discuss within your group at the end of the 2 minutes who got the 2 missing numbers the quickest. Now, some people will not get these 2 missing numbers potentially, but I'll give you 2 minutes to see if you can find the 2 missing numbers. Okay. And time starts now. Okay. That's your first shift. That's 20 seconds up. $40 seconds, so second shift. One minute, so third shift. 1 minute to go. Four. So you've got 2 shifts left. That's you going into the last 20 seconds. So that's your 2 minutes up, everyone. So did we find the missing 2 numbers? And if you did, congratulations, well done. Not a lot of people manage to find both. Some maybe find one but don't find both. And how long did it take you? So how many shifts did it take you to find that? And do you get what the game's trying to show you, in the importance of like sustaining a really good standard? Would it have been easier to find? Do you think it would have been easier to find the 2 missing numbers if it was set out the way we hadn't standardised? So that, going back to after standardised, that was how the numbers were presented to you, and you can see so quickly that the missing 2 numbers was 18 and 42. So I don't know if MD found those numbers, so you can pause if you like, you can discuss to see who did it, but well done to MD who did. But for those who didn't, don't worry about it. That's what the game's trying to show us. So so just a little quote is, we have never seen a well-run plant, so organisation, company, business, that was dirty and disorganised. We have also never seen a dirty and disorganised plant that runs well. So again, just please think about this in life. If you've got a tidy and organised bedroom or kitchen or living room, you know, it genuinely makes life that much easier. So hence, think about your project. This is what we're trying to achieve. I would really like to see and think that part of your project, one room or one area or one cupboard or one wardrobe, you've applied 5S to it. It would be a really good exercise to do, and good learning, and hopefully you see the benefits of it. So think about that when you're trying to reduce your waste in your morning. Okay. So just Again, you can pause and discuss within your group if you like, or but where have you seen examples of 5S within your home? So a really good one that most people have is like their cutlery drawer in their kitchen. So each like forks have got their own area, spoons, knives and stuff like that. Most people have the, you know, their washing machine and tumble dryer if you've got one next to each other, and that just makes it that much easier. You know, a kitchen's a good place to look. Pots and pans are usually all together. You don't have one pot in one cupboard and one pot in another, and so just have a look around and see where you see 5S and things that should be together and making life that much easier for you. Okay. So just to kind of to finish, I want to show this video, I think it was, yeah, on Formula One. So it's just to try and help you see how 5S lean production or lean tools have progressed. So it's continuous improvement. It's not you do one exercise and you never look at it again in that area. Like my job is to continually review the process and see how we can make it better. So if Formula One had taken the attitude of we think we're as fast as we can in a pit stop and not changed since 1950, I think this video is like 1950 something, you can see how far behind some teams would have been if they didn't look at it with a lean mindset. Okay. So wait to see. This is final video, I promise, guys.
But Holland comes in for a pit stop. Time to refuel and change tires. Lou Moore himself changes the tires. Only 4 crew members, including the driver, are allowed to work on the car. It's a tense time. Holland stays in his seat, anxious to get away. Let's watch. Tires are changed at last. A crewman polishes the windshield as Holland moves away just 67 seconds after he stopped.
So I think that makes the point pretty good. So you can see the massive change that's happened. So that was 1950, and the second video was 2013, which and now we're in 2021. I mean, it's much even quicker than that now. But that is an amazing example in sport where they have continuously tried to improve. And that's what we're asking you to do, is to see if you can improve your morning routine to make it an F1 morning. So that would be great. So I think that's me. I've taken you through what lean principles are. I know it was a very quick review, but please watch this video back, watch the videos again, and just familiarise yourself with the sort of lean tools and just the understanding. But good luck with your project. I hope it goes really well. And just anywhere you're waiting, anything that's frustrating you in the mornings of getting ready is probably something you should look at. But your process map should show you that. So very best of luck. And I hope you've found that educational. Okay, thank you.